Sugar Cookie. Sorry, I was just listening to some music. What's up? Oh? You can't sleep? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was listening to some music to help me fall asleep, but I didn't get very far. Want me to help? Huh? You were doing research online? What about? Audiobooks? Well, I don't know anything really about audiobooks, but I do know about some short stories that are really good. Oh, sure. I used to read them all the time. They would help me slow my mind down and calm me down a bit. Oh. I see. Well, it's okay. I don't mind. Huh? You want me to read one to you? Are you sure you want me to? I'm not the best at reading. You'll be the judge of that? Alright, alright. But what would I even read? Huh? Oh. I see. Well, that's okay, Sugar Cookie. I don't mind. Oh, Sugar Cookie. That's so sweet of you. No problem. Of course I'll read to you. Now, what kind of story? Oh, yeah. There are some really good sites for reading short stories. Let me see. You want to cuddle in close? Okay. Aw, that's adorable. You know, I like stuffies too. Huh? Yeah, sure I do. Oh, this one looks really interesting. Take a look, Sugar Cookie. It's called Dreamweaver. Okay. Sure. I'll try this one out if you want. If you're sure. Okay. I'll start. In the dust that settles at the end of the world, where the only light is the dimness of dawn, there's a woman sitting on a wooden chair. It is not a throne. She is not a queen. It is not a rocking chair. She is not a crone. It is a wooden chair you might find anywhere in the world, straight-backed and uncomfortable to sit on for long periods of time. She sits on it while she weaves, with a cat sleeping lazily at her feet. There is a single flickering flame that lights her workshop, illuminating spools of thread in every imaginable color and a large loom fashioned from the same wood as the chair. She moves the threads with practiced intentions, weaving tiny lines and cells into a new tapestry. A scene is playing out on it. A couple of people, who are still only feet. Their toes point together, and when she reaches their heads, they will be face to face. The weaver can hear the conversation hissing through the dust outside her door. She can see in her mind's eyes the faces of the two people. Only she is watching, and she is watching it all, weaving as it happens. Long ago, she was someone else. but she has retired into quiet, comfortable obscurity, far from worship and zealotry. She loves the loom, loves the dim light in her sliver of a world, loves the chair that hurts her back and her lazy cat. It is peaceful to watch scenes play out. When she finishes the tapestry, she sets it outside, where it joins countless others. The colors will bleed away in time. The fibers of the scene will crumble and join the dust that swirls around her peaceful, lonely little place. Once the cat stretched and watched her work before asking in his small voice, "Do you make the scenes happen or as they happen?" She paused her work and frowned down at him. Does it matter? More than anything, he'd argued, but she had to disagree. The pure joy of creating something was worth more than the lives it did or did not impact. She couldn't help what she wove. Maybe she was merely mirroring what was happening somewhere out in the world, or maybe she was under the control of whomever wove her tapestry. She'd taken up the cat because she desired minimal companionship. When she stopped to feed or pet him, it reminded her that time was indeed moving along. Besides that, she couldn't help feeling kinship for that little beast. She admired him for wandering to the edge of time, as she once had. He was brown, but had been gray when he arrived, coated thick with dust, hungry but lively. Even as he lazed around day after day, there was a glimmer of fire in his green eyes that never dimmed. He kept small beasts from destroying her work or making nests in her spools of thread. They got into arguments to pass the time and waxed philosophical over meals. "What makes you say that?" she asked. He was the only outsider to ever look into her little workshop and thought her ways were very strange. He claimed to recognize some of the figures in her tapestries. "From when I was a man," he said, but she doubted he ever was anything but a cat. Why else would he wander so far afield in search of someone to feed him and scratch behind his ears? If you are in control of the world, then you can change it. Judge those who should have a better or worse picture. She didn't like that. It made her fingers fumble over the fibers of her creation. It reminded her of the days when she was asked for miracles and punishments. "I don't interfere," she answered carefully. "No, not can't, not won't, don't." Sasha awoke with a sudden start. The moonlight streaming through her window glinted off Toblerone's yellow eyes, and he was glowering at her for waking him. She sat up and rubbed her head. It was pounding, and her mouth was dry. There were crusties in the corner of her eye that felt suspiciously like dust. She picked up her phone and squinted at the bright screen. Her alarm was set for 3, and it was 2 minutes till. Groaning, she threw back her covers, much to Toblerone's dismay. He meowed his disapproval and jumped off the bed. The little bell on his collar jingled as he padded down the hallway and awaited his breakfast. Sasha packed her hamper into the too small trunk of her car and headed off for the laundromat. She passed a few other cars and had to wonder what they were doing up at that hour. The laundromat wasn't busy, but it wasn't completely abandoned either. There were 3 other cars parked, including a shiny old Mustang right in the front of the entrance. A young couple was out front smoking when she walked in. A haggard-looking woman waited beside a driver, with her son asleep in her lap. In the back corner was her favorite washer. Sat a man in an outrageous green silk coat. She smiled as she walked by to throw her clothes in. "Laundry day, huh?" she said with a cheeky nod at his coat. He frowned at her. "What?" She swallowed. "I like your jacket." He cracked a smile and straightened the lapels. Around his neck hung 3 gold chains, and he wore about 15 rings on his fingers. He was at a certain age where he might have been 45, or he might have been 60. $50 for it. He laughed at a little harder than she thought was appropriate, and he sounded a little nervous too. The neons in the window cast a bluish tint over his skin. and she found her own crawling as she turned back to him. Sasha sat a few seats away and frowned as she looked at the rows of washers in front of her. Hers was the only one running. She pulled out her phone and pretended to scroll. "Lovely fingers," he said quietly, leaning as if they were sharing a secret. She clutched her hands into fist. "Excuse me?" she said a little loudly, even though she didn't expect any help from the mother with her sleeping son. "Huh? Oh goodness, it's really late." "Huh?" "Fast asleep." "Mwah. Good night. Sleep well, sugar cookie."